We're going to now move our vision to our expert segment, and today we're going to deal with taxes. We've got a very special guest, Varun Sachdeva, CEO, Sachdeva Associates. Varun, thanks very much for joining and taking all of your questions. And let's hit this off with the first question. And we've got Sukant as Panigrahi on the phone line with us, joining from Mumbai. Hi, Sukant, go ahead. What's your question?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Madam, actually, I have a query regarding the service tax which now we are paying to builders.
Okay.
Now, recently the service tax which we have to pay to the developer, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, pay to builder or builder has to pay to the government? That I want to know.
All right. So there are two components, Sukant, of any taxes. One is the service tax and one is VAT. And most times, Varun, you get a demand from the developer for both these taxes. So explain to us, most people say, why should I be paying a service tax, right? The builder should be paying the service tax to the government, but...
You see, the service tax and VAT are basically output taxes which are levied on the basic cost of any kind of a thing, be it a flat or be it the sale of goods and all. Regarding the service tax, if you see, both these taxes, service tax and VAT, these have been brought into the legislation by a method of, you can say, a deeming fiction. These are all something which they have been incorporated, wherein initially work contract tax was not taxable. But after the 46th Amendment, you see the deeming provisions from 2010 in the Service Tax Act has been incorporated, wherein they say that if a flat is purchased by you from a developer or a builder,
right.
So in that case you need to pay service tax on that because he is rendering the services of a construction to you. But if the flat is purchased by you after this completion certificate has been received and the payment is made after that, then it is known as a sale of a immovable property. But if the installments are taken or if the flat is sold before you can say the completion certificate, in that case it is a deeming section. The deeming provision says that you need to pay the service tax on that because service tax is a central enactment. So that is why this deeming fiction was brought into it.
So Varun, so it has to be paid.
It has to be paid.
And you know, the fact that there's no developer in India who sells a flat after he receives the completion certificate. Most projects are sold even in a pre-launch phase, some in the launch phase, but rarely on completion. So exactly. That's something. How is VAT different?
VAT is different because of the simple reason that you see VAT is levied when the goods are sold. So there was a lot of confusion in that, but Maharashtra VAT is one of the states wherein they have added an explanation to this work contract and wherein they have brought out a composition scheme wherein they say that 1% on the total cost of that flat we will charge you as VAT also. But all the states are not levying these VAT. It is only a few states like Maharashtra because this flat as such is situated in Ambernath in Maharashtra, which is in Thane. So being the Maharashtra VAT being applicable there, so in that case he'll have to pay 1% of the basic cost.
All right, so VAT is not applicable all over India, but service tax irrespective, and that's about 12.36%?
No, we have an abatement of 75% on that. So service tax is leviable only on the 25% of the amount of the cost of the flat, you can say. So here in this case, if you see, the question is that the cost is 17,25,000. So on that 25% value, on that value works out to say maybe that thing, but otherwise what you can do is you can reduce the VAT itself on 17,25,000. So effectively you will be paying 3.09% VAT instead of 12.36%, which is the latest rate.
VAT or service tax?
Service tax. This is a service tax.
This is service tax. So you're saying 25% of the total cost of the apartment is considered to be the construction part, and therefore service tax is applicable on that service which the developer is offering you, not on the entire cost. And VAT is applicable but only in a few states, and there's a specified rate. It's not applicable on all flats. So lastly, I think I'm just going to prolong this discussion and take the final tax which everybody has to pay, which is stamp duty on registration. How this varies locality to locality all across India, isn't it? And there's also a gender differentiation. Some states like Delhi have lower stamp duty for women versus men.
Right. Delhi is one of the states which is giving, you can say, a reduced value for the women, for the females. But other states like Maharashtra and all, it is basically the state which makes the act, which levies the stamp duty on the basic cost. And that stamp duty has to be paid for the purpose of registration of that flat or any other immovable property.
What do you think, Sameer? Stamp duties. Everybody says that if you just brought down the stamp duties to a more rational structure, it would reduce the black money. The reason why people are compelled to bring down the white value of their transaction is because they need to pay such high stamp duties. You think that's a valid point? See, or is this an excuse to tuck away? Or
see, I think if you look at the world over, stamp duties now are range between 2% to 5%. We are in that 5 to 7% range. So yes, I would say that the government should look at bringing down the stamp duty by another 1 or 2% more. But more so, I think capital gain tax is one of the bigger reasons why people get into parallel transactions or black money transactions, because that's a huge sum. It's 20% plus.
Right.
Even when you made a new investment, you have to hold on to the property for 3 years. But I think stamp duty now is more or less fair. It should not be 8%. It's 8-9% in certain states.
Yes.
Ideally, if it's hovering between 4 to 5%, I think the citizens of this country should be open and happy to pay 4 to 5% stamp duty.
It can't be brought down further. So capital gains tax, it's also, Varun, done to essentially make sure that you don't, there's not that much of element of speculation in real estate. Somewhere it does curb the speculative element. Do you think it really does that, or it just converts from first sale to second sale a lot of white into black?
No, I personally feel that stamp duties and all are now levied on the circle rates, which are assessed by the stamp valuation authorities. And nowadays, circle rates in certain states are virtually at par with the market rates, or maybe a little lesser. But that is the average rate which is generally worked out. So the circle rates and all are quite indicative.
But circle rates in Mumbai and Delhi are still 50% of the market value.
Yeah, definitely I agree to you. But if you go back 3 years or 5 years, and if you compare with that, and if you see the last year, there was 2 increases in Delhi.
Absolutely.
So
they're catching up.
Yeah, they're catching up.
All right, we leave it at that. Thanks very much, Varun, for joining us and taking us through those very basic taxes that you have to pay when you're buying property. That's service tax, VAT in a couple of states, service tax everywhere that you buy an apartment. That's a absolute must component, and stamp duty, of course, when you register your property.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display, full screen view, faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.